Hi guys, welcome at PensionBee The Buzz, the place where we try to simplify everything that has to do with your personal finances and pensions. Because guys, it doesn't have to be complicated. I'm Jasper, I'm from PensionBee, but today I'm joined by a very special guest that is going to demystify everything that has to do with ethical investing and ethical money. Rebecca, can you introduce yourself?
I'm Rebecca O'Connor and I run a website called Good With Money, which highlights all the ways you can make small changes to your personal finances that will have a good impact on the world. So people, planet, profits.
And ethical money is going mainstream this year, and next year is, well, our prediction, and I think you should know about that. So in this video, in the next couple of minutes, hopefully we can explain you all about ethical investing, ethical money, and how you can take action. So first of all, and this is lots of questions we got in from our customers, but also our followers on social, is great Jasper, great Zainabb, what's ethical money? What does it actually mean? Can you explain that briefly to us?
Yeah, so ethical is a really broad church of different themes. So it started out as negative screening, which means funds that didn't invest in tobacco, didn't invest in arms, didn't invest in animal testing. But it's now kind of expanded as the world has changed, and ethical can mean sustainable. So sustainability funds would have an environmental theme and they are focused on reducing CO2. But then you also have socially responsible investment, which is a branch of ethical investing, which is focused on social problems and solving social problems like modern slavery and that kind of thing. And obviously what you really want is something that does all of those, and for that is something called environmental, social and governance. So funds that have environmental, social governance or ESG theme, they try and invest in companies that are solving all the problems all at the same time.
One thing that always comes to mind when it comes to ethical investing is that doesn't really perform well. And to be honest, I really care about the planet, I really care about social responsibility, but I also do care about my pension.
Yeah.
So, or about performance of an ISA.
Yeah.
So, is that still the case?
No, absolutely not. So there is this view that if you take an ethical view with your money, you will compromise on the financial return, but it's just not the case anymore. So there's been study after study by some really large, well-respected investment banks, Barclays and MSCI in particular, that show that the financial performance is actually better for funds that have an environmental social governance theme over the long term than those without. And that's because of the structural thing that we've talked about, which is the industries that are in decline, the fossil fuel industries, are in a kind of structural decline as we can no longer use fossil fuels to sustain the planet. So it kind of makes sense, therefore, that the companies investing in solutions will be doing better, making more profit over time than those that are active in the problems, if you like.
So one of the things that then really strikes me when I listen to you is that an ethical pension fund or an ethical ISA where you invest your money in could potentially invest in a dirty company like BP or Shell. Sorry BP, Shell, but you guys are an oil company. But how is that, like, do you think that is the way forward? Yeah,
so I mean, some people might be surprised when they see oil companies in a sustainability fund, but there is a view that it's better for an active shareholder who cares about these issues to own the company shares than a shareholder that doesn't particularly care. So that active shareholder can put pressure on the company and vote in favour of measures that will force that company to reduce its CO2 emissions, for example. So you can justify holding shares in a company if you are taking an active approach and trying to improve that company's environmental, social governance performance.
See, this is one of those key things that I think is really important to know. That it's not just, guys, it's just not about investing in Tesla or in a solar panel company. It's actually this wide range of companies where it's okay to have shares in that company, but the fund manager who is investing on your behalf takes that active view about guys, you need to change. And I think that's really good to hear. But then also you will not suffer, or you not have any performance issues on your product, and you probably outperform.
Yeah,
because it's a combination of both, right?
Yeah, there is enough research out there now to suggest that this type of approach can improve performance, financial performance.
Okay, but this all sounds amazing, and if I had large stashes of money somewhere in my cupboard at home, I would just run to all of these investment funds that you talk about, which is great. But most people will not have a lot of money to invest, or might not have pensions. So what are can you still be ethical with your finances? Where do you start?
Yeah, you can. I mean, so if you're employed and you have a salary, your money is your power. So, and that's quite a big chunk of money every month.
Yeah.
And at the moment, we just give it to the high street bank and forget about it and don't think about what it's doing. But you can open a bank account with a provider that is more responsible. There's Triodos, which you're familiar with. It's a Dutch bank that has a UK office, and there's the Co-op, which obviously is the ethical provider, and there's been a few problems lately there, but it's still it retains its ethical position on what to invest in and the customers it has. And Nationwide, which is a kind of good all-rounder building society.
Interesting.
So yeah, there are options. So if you have nothing else to invest, that's fine. Lots of us don't. Then your bank account is probably the first place to start.
Yeah.
And then it would be your pension, assuming that you have workplace pensions from the past. You can have quite a chunk of money that you're not even really aware of that is yours, and you can move it into a more ethical option. So yeah, I think they're the two main things. If you don't have spare cash to invest, they're the two things to look at.
Yeah, and of course we are recording this video today because we are launching our own eco-friendly pension. And people, if you're already familiar with PensionBee, you can move your pensions from previous jobs into a new online plan. So one of the free plans is a PensionBee pension, but this is, by the way, a shameless plug. But again, it's a PensionBee video. But I just want to stress out, we're not the only one who offer a product like this. One of the biggest government initiative workplace pension provider, Nest, actually has an ethical fund.
Yeah, it does, and it has outperformed the default options.
Yeah.
But there's the Sharia fund as well, which has outperformed all of them, but the ethical fund is the second highest performer at Nest so far. So that's really that's a great vote of confidence.
Many of the workplace pension providers will actually have an ethical option for you to look at.
Yeah, and you'll just be able to tick the box and switch it to the one. If you go into your account, they'll offer you the options.
And that's a really easy small fix. But it's actually quite a large sum of money you're moving towards a better world.
It's huge. I mean, I don't know what the average pension pot is, but let's say everybody in the country with £30,000 in their pension pot just switched it to the ethical fund. That would be massive.
So finally, Rebecca, can you give us one easy tip that we can all do in the next couple of days to take the first step to be more greener and ethical?
Okay, cool. Well, so if you're not minded to do the research on your salary or your bank account or your pension, and it's getting colder now, so maybe the thing to do is look at green energy, 100% green energy providers, because they are pretty cheap. I mean, cost competitive with normal tariffs now, and that will just give you a little bit of a taste of the feel-good factor that comes with making an eco choice with one element of your finances.
That sounds like a really great, and I think also a very easy thing to do, especially if you know that your contract is up for renewal.
Oh, they do it all for you.
Yeah, great. So that sounds like a really good thing to do. Well, thank you very much, Rebecca. So Rebecca O'Connor from Good With Money, I would say check out her website. Yeah, well, 2 years ago when we started PensionBee and we were looking at financial products, this was one of the first websites we come across, and it really, really demystifies anything around ethical investing and ethical money. So give it a click or visit this weekend as well while you're changing your energy provider, right? So this is PensionBee the Boss. Thank you very much for watching. Leave comments in the box below and see you next time.